Hello guys. Today I want to show you guys something strange I watched last night. So basically I was just sitting on my couch searching through channels because I was bored, when suddenly I hear my door ring. So I went to see who was at my door, and when I opened the door I saw nobody at my step, except when I looked down I saw a package, and I thought, oh hey, there's that SpongeBob DVD I ordered. Just for context, I was a big SpongeBob fan. So I decided to take the package into my house and opened it. And then I saw the SpongeBob DVD I ordered online. So I decided to put my tape into the VCR. When I got to the DVD menu, I was thinking about what I wanted to do first. And then I saw the animation errors button. So I decided to press it since I was bored, obviously. And there were 3 episodes exclusively from Season 2 of SpongeBob. Big Pink Loser, Dying for Pie, and Your Shoes Untied. And I went with Big Pink Loser first, since it's one of my favorite episodes. So the episode started as normal. Patrick goes to SpongeBob's house to tell him that he got a trophy, but SpongeBob tells Patrick that his name was on the trophy, and it's not really Patrick's. However, at the 1 minute and 12 second timestamp, the screen suddenly glitches and cuts to black. 5 seconds later, it shows a distorted and very low quality image of SpongeBob, without his pupils, and there was no background. It was just a pitch black void. And I got a little bit startled as I didn't expect that image to pop up, and then the image disappeared and the episode continued as normal. So I decided to go back to the animation errors menu and decided to pick another episode. So I decided to pick Dying for Pie. And so I decided to pick the second episode, Dying for Pie, an unforgettable classic in my opinion. And I decided to play the episode. Just like the first episode, it started out as normal. Squidward buys a pie from a group of pirates. And when Mr. Krabs tries to eat the pie suddenly explodes and it reveals that SpongeBob ate the pie. So Squidward gets worried and realizes he has until sunset before SpongeBob explodes. So he participates in different wacky gags with SpongeBob to make his final day the best day of his life. And so SpongeBob and Squidward hang out at the sunset. And when SpongeBob wants to count down to sunset with Squidward, Squidward gets nervous and starts to count down with SpongeBob. However, he gets interrupted by a huge explosion behind a brick wall. He thinks that SpongeBob exploded and died, and it turns out SpongeBob didn't really explode, and is just making bubble bombs. However, at the 11 minute 20 second timestamp, it glitches and the screen cuts to black again. And the same SpongeBob image appears, with no pupils, and he's in a pitch black void instead of outside. And he's smiling instead. I then get startled again, as I didn't expect the image to appear again, and then the episode continued as normal. So I get bored again, and then I decided to switch to one last episode. And so I decided to pick the last episode in the animation errors menu, Your Shoes Untied. Another one of my favorite episodes. And I played the episode. Just like the last 2 episodes, it played out like normal. Patrick goes to SpongeBob's house to show off his new shoes, but he doesn't know how to tie his shoes. And so SpongeBob goes to bed and realizes his shoes are untied, so he tries to go to the Krusty Krab with his untied shoes, but he keeps falling over. When SpongeBob goes to the kitchen, he also falls over due to his untied shoes, and Squidward reminds SpongeBob to cook some Krabby Patties. However, at the 3 minute 53 second timestamp, the screen glitches again and it cuts to black. And the SpongeBob image appears yet again, with no pupils, and is in a pitch black void instead of the kitchen. And this one startles me again, because it looks so eerie and unsettling, as if SpongeBob was looking at the viewer and begging for help. And so I get tired of seeing the same image 3 times. I decide to quit the animation errors menu and eject the tape from my VCR. I decided to throw the tape in the garbage and promised to myself to never use it ever again. However, one day, the tape somehow disappeared from my trash can and I couldn't find it. I'd say last night was pretty much a weird experience, but some legends say that the tape is possessed and cursed, and it belongs to a cult or something. But I think that's just ridiculous. And it probably got picked up from a garbage truck that same night. What do you guys think? And that was SpongeBob Animation Errors, written by PyroSMLFan64. Review time. That was boring. I'm going to be completely blunt. That was nothing special. All that happened was, as mentioned in the title, it's just a bunch of animation errors. Like, there's nothing scary about it. There's nothing, like, mysterious about... There's nothing mysterious about removing SpongeBob's pupils in random scenes and putting them in an animation errors category, knowing that it was made by the staff. This isn't really a creepypasta sort of thing. It's more so like spaghetti and meatballs, if that makes sense. Yeah, this wasn't all that great. A few other things I wanted to mention aside from that was the overall redundancy in each paragraph. See, in each paragraph, there's like a long, like overdone explanation on what each episode is about. For some reason, it's just there, and then it gets to the actual point, which is like barely a few sentences, and then it goes on to the next paragraph. There's a lot of ands, which forms a shit ton of run-on sentences, which can get very annoying to read. And finally, the ending. How in the world do you connect incantations and cult stuff to animation errors? Once again, made by staff. How do you do that? I have no idea. It is really... It's really goofy. And, like... I'm glad the protagonist is at least somewhat smart enough to know that that wouldn't be true. Oh, the beginning, too. He says he gets a DVD in the mail, and then he says, I put the tape in my VCR. So, the DVD just suddenly transformed into a tape. Either that, or the writer forgot how a DVD or VCR works. No offense to you, author. I'm sure you can come up with something much better than this. I have faith in you. My final rating is a 2, because even though this was really not that good, it was easy enough to read, and yeah, I get that. That's pretty much it. It was simple enough to read, which I can add a few points for. But overall, this was pretty. This was pretty bad. Pretty. Thumbs down. But as always, this is simply my personal opinion, and we all have our opinions regarding these creepypastas. What did you think of the pasta? What would you have done to improve upon it? And as always, I will see you all in my next narration. I love you all. Bless.